Okay.
All right, brother. Tell me a story. I guess like I'm super interested to hear how you got into fitness, how you got into the position you're in. Like, tell us a story.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it started because I was in sports, right? Like a lot of us when we're younger, we play a lot of sports and we're athletic and stuff, and that kind of leads over to the gym. And that's what I did. The difference was when high school kind of started to wind down, I didn't have much going for me. So I just kind of spent my days working out and going to my job at the restaurant. And that was pretty much all I had. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was thinking of all these options that I didn't really like, but I thought they might work. I was thinking maybe I should be a cop, maybe I should be a correctional officer and work in the prison. Maybe I should be a mechanic, I should be a welder. I was trying to think of things I should do. And then I decided, I'll just probably be a mechanic or so. When I was working out one day in the gym, and this guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you're getting ready for a competition." And I didn't know what that meant or what he was talking about. And he said bodybuilding. And I said, "I don't really know what that is." And he said, "Arnold Schwarzenegger did that before acting." And I said, "Oh, okay. I don't know much about that." And he started to tell me about it and explained it to me a little bit. And I thought to myself, well, that sounds pretty dumb, right? But he told me that a lot of the guys make a good career out of it. And it's just how competitive you can be with working out, essentially, at the end of it, is what he said. And I was like, well, that sounds great. So when I left the gym that day before I went to the restaurant to be a busboy, I stopped at Walmart and I bought Muscular Development Magazine and Flex Magazine. I remember Marcus Rule and Dennis Wolf were on the cover of the MD magazine. And I just absorbed it. I thought it was a little weird at first because the guys were just so big
Hmm.
that I thought it was kind of gross. Kind of like, I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't understand how you can kind of look like that. But I was still really interested in it. And I looked through the magazines cover to cover. I went back to the store. I bought as many magazines as I could that were bodybuilding fitness related. And back then, this is 2007, 2006. There was a lot going on for bodybuilding in the magazine stands back then. We didn't have all the social media stuff, and a lot of the websites didn't exist. So if you wanted show information or you wanted to see the big guys and listen to them read what they had to say, you had to get the magazines for the most part. So I started reading all the magazines and I got hooked on it. And I started telling everybody that I wanted to do it, and nobody liked the idea.
Hmm.
Everybody thought it was really stupid and weird, and everybody had something to say about it. So I stopped talking about it. I stopped telling everybody about it, and I just started doing it. I just started working out harder, and then I started bringing in like the protein shakes and learning how to put all the food together. And then I was hooked and obsessed. And then I wanted to get like ACE certified and NASM certified so I could be a trainer and work in all the gyms. And I was going to be Mr. Olympia and do this and do that. And oh man, it probably took me 10 years or so until I could actually pay my rent all the way through bodybuilding. I didn't foresee that. I thought it was going to be much quicker. It took forever for me. I don't know how long it took for most of the guys. You see, because you only see the guys who rise up fast as heck, the guys who bust on the scene and then they get good sponsors and you're like, oh, look, it's so and so. It's like, yeah, well, as one dude out of like the 100 dudes that actually make up the industry, most of us, it took a while. It sucked. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
kind of how it was for me. But then, yeah, then I started competing and stuff. And next thing you know, like I was just doing all right, I guess.
Doing all right. Well, I mean, it looks like you're doing a hell of a lot more than all right, and it's a brutal industry, like the fitness industry as a whole. Never mind like the bodybuilding sector of it, right? Like it's so subjective, and people who and kind of like eyes on, and it's brutal. Like to get through that, it's fucking brutal. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
there's like
bodybuilding is not forgiving.
no, like I think there's so much lessons though like you can take out of bodybuilding that you can apply to life in general, never mind like the other areas of the fitness industry of like, the meticulous like attention to detail and dedication. And I think honestly, to sum it up in one word, I think I would say dedication.
Dedication is number one, I think. That's the thing that they always say, that it sounds cliche, that the difference between failure and success is getting up that one more time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to get knocked down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so true. That's so true. Everybody quits. Everybody seems to quit, especially when it comes to bodybuilding. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot that comes into it, like genetics and stuff like that. But there are a lot of guys in the industry who do not look like Mr. Olympia, who do great, who have great careers, who have lots of fun doing what they want to do every day. Mm-hmm. And most guys don't ever taste that because they just quit. Mm-hmm. They get discouraged. And half of them look fantastic when they get discouraged and quit. They're just up in their heads about it, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is a very like internal sport though, right? Like it's so easy to get in your head and then end up like, you know, shooting yourself in the foot and quitting because you let everything else kind of infiltrate your mindset, and the next thing you know, like, you know, you've cashed your chips in, you've left.
Yeah, bodybuilding is also extremely slow.
Yeah,
there's not a lot to do during the day. There's 1,000 things you have to do every day to make it work. You know, you have to have all your meals, you have to train a certain way, you have to sleep, you have to do a lot a certain way. But there's a lot of time to just sit and wait and think about what you want. And that makes for a very pressurized feeling for guys, because they can't like get out of their skin. They sit there and they freak out, and there's nothing for them to do. All they have to do is just trust the process, relax, sit there, relax. But it's hard because they just get all jittery and they want to do more. They think they should be doing more. That's when a lot of them make bad mistakes and try to make things happen as fast as they can. And then it becomes real discouraging and your morale gets broken. And then the more things you try to stack up and the faster the results don't come, it really breaks your morale. But then it also kind of sets the bar really high for what you think you have to do all the time. You know, because you're like, oh, well, I have to make sure I eat all this and train all this and take all this and do all this and sleep all this. And I'm just so busy. So I'm just not going to do it at all. Because if I can't do it 100%, I might as well not do it. And I hear that idea, and I don't like that philosophy. I like the idea of doing the most you can with what you got, because you're going to go through ups and downs, and you're going to go through different phases. So if you have 6 months that are awesome, well, that is awesome. But if it takes you a year to get to another 6 months that are awesome, you got to do what you can for that year, right? You got to maintain the most you can, try not to get smaller, because when everything is great, you don't want to be starting over for those 6 months. You can maintain a physique. You can do a lot with what you got, you know, and then I think too many guys throw in the towel too quick.
Yeah. And they wait for this idyllic situation, right? And the environment where everything is absolutely perfect. Okay, now I can go 100%. You're like, life isn't perfect. Like it never will be. Like, you know, the waves come up and down, peaks and troughs. It's like you've got to be able to roll with those punches and dance in the rain, right? Rather than waiting for the perfect weather.
Absolutely. And how great will it be to have all your ducks in a row for however long that's going to allow you to have it? But how great to have all that and stand on a foundation of hodgepodge you've been trying to put together for 3 or 4 or 5 years. That when all those ducks do get in a row, it's really, really going to shine. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. If you wait until that moment, man, you're going to be pretty much in the same boat you were back then. You're going to be learning, mistaking, having problems, getting over things, learning this, learning that, trying this, trying that. Yeah, like when it's time for you to shine, you got to be ready.
Yeah, man, 100%. And it's crazy, right? Because we know time is our most precious commodity, right? So once it's gone, it's gone. Yet people will actively wait, you know, just stand around, sit around, not do anything, just kind of spin the wheels before they start actively going for something that they want to go for. You're like, wait, hold on a minute. Like, you ain't going to get that time back, man. Like, you might as well get in the arena and do some sort of work.
Yeah, you might as well. It's another thing I hear when people, they won't do a lot, or they won't put themselves out there because they say, I know my worth and stuff like that. They'll be like, I'm not gonna like, I'm trying to think of a good example, but it doesn't, the saying goes that you have to know what you're worth, but you also have to understand you have an expiration date.
Wow.
So it's one thing to wait around for the right moment, but it's another thing to wait around until you spoil also. So sometimes it's just good to get out there and get it, you know.
I've not heard that one before. That's a good one.
Oh, it's nice, right?
Yeah,
don't expire. Don't sit around and spoil. I know what I'm worth. I'm gonna wait to get what I'm worth. That's fine. Don't sit there and expire.
Yeah. I mean, I always go back to the Teddy Roosevelt quote of the man in the arena, right? I always go back to it mentally. I'm like, it doesn't matter what happens, like win or loss, you know, fail triumphantly or whatever. Just get in the arena, do something, try something. And even if you fail and everything goes tits up, like you're going to have learned something. You're going to have gained something from that experience. Plus, like life's always more fun while you're doing something. Just sat around like twiddling your thumbs with your thumb in your ass. Like,
right.
It's rather boring.
Yeah, and I've seen that a lot. Unfortunately, some of the guys I've grown up with, some of the people I know, you know, they just have spent 10, 15, 20 years sitting in their living room. And that sucks. You know, that sucks.
It blows my mind, man. Like I'll speak to people like all over the world, right? And we'll be able to connect on like, we're obviously all go-getters doing something in whatever industry they're doing, right? And everyone knows a bunch of people that will just spin their wheels and live the same day over and over and over again for the next 60, 80 years, right? And it's crazy how there's so many people in this world that just are complacent.
And maybe it's good, you know, because they say that being uncomfortable is a thing that sparks change, right? Like being uncomfortable in your position is something that motivates you to make a difference. You don't like being broke. You don't like living where you live. You don't like looking the way you look. You're uncomfortable in that situation. So you put yourself out there to make a change. Hey, you know, I'm not living your life. If you're comfortable, if you're happy, sit there and be happy. I'll be over here doing shit.
Yeah.
If you want to check in on me, I'll put it on Instagram sometimes. You can call them if you want. Hell, don't let me hold you back. But if you're over there with a smile on your face, sitting on that couch without an urge to move, man, that's your life. You fucking live it.
That's so true, man. Bro. Well, I could not. Don't
let me stop you.
Yeah.
Don't let me hold you back.
Yeah, man.
There's gonna be good Jerry Springer episode today. I can dig it. You know, it might not be for me, but don't let me stop you from having a good time.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
My skin would be crawling sitting on that couch all day. I would have anxiety. One of the first ways I got sponsored was back in like 2012. It was back in 2012, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a lot going for me. I had some wins in NABA. I had some stuff going on the competition side, but for the most part, no one really knew who I was. And the only momentum I had was what contest I could do next. And if I could win that contest, then maybe I could get momentum off of that, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of an unsettling feeling. It makes you uncomfortable. So I was trying to do the social media as much as I could. And I was trying to market my Instagram, and I would like people's stuff and comment here and comment that. But they would not like it if you liked stuff too much, or if you commented too much, or if you actually participated too much on Instagram. They would block you for a moment. They would be like, hey, you know, for 3 days, we're not going to let you comment because you were commenting too much. And you're like, yeah, I was saying great job to people, you dick. But whatever. What I noticed at the time was bodybuilding.com has this thing called Body Space, and it works like Facebook, kind of. It's like muscle people, in fitness industry people, social media. So what I noticed, and they've changed all of this format, so you can't replicate what I'm going to tell you, but what was pretty cool back then is you could add someone as a friend, and when you hit add them to a friend as your profile, it would give you a little window where you could send them a message at the same time. Well, being like an off-brand website, their social media stuff wasn't like Instagram. It wasn't like Facebook. They didn't have any caps or any regulations. You could ask as many people to be your friend in a day as you wanted. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I went to the list of all the users, and there was something like 500,000 users on this website. And I started going one by one. I said, add friend. And I sent them a message. And I said, my name is David Ziegler. My website is zieglermonster.com. I'm a trainer. I'm a bodybuilder. If you want to talk fitness and just need support, whatever you need, like, I'm not selling you anything. It was written more elegantly than this. Yeah. But it was like, I'm not selling anything. I just want to be your buddy. Will you be my fitness friend? And I hit send, right? Do you know how many of them I sent out?
Did you do all of them?
I did 250,000.
Fuck me.
I sent out 250,000 individual friend requests on this website. It took me more than weeks. I want to say it took me 7-8 weeks, all night, part of the day. I wouldn't sleep because I just had such anxiety and I had such a drive to body build, to be in the industry, to do something in the industry. And it was just me in my living room with a couple trophies, and I didn't know what to do. And I knew if these people could just learn who I was, we would be friends. I love bodybuilding. I love fitness. So do they. We just don't know we exist. Me and you, we just know about Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler's not going to be friends with us. So let's be friends. So what I did was I did that. And then next thing I knew, you know, I had 250, 300,000 friends on this one website. So every time I posted a picture, talk about feedback, every time I said a sentence, anytime I told somebody to go check out my YouTube channel, to go check out my website, and I had the physique to back it up. I was winning shows. I had championship titles and stuff. So once they saw my pictures, they were like, oh, good job. You're doing good. And I was like, thank you. You're doing well also. I'm glad we both know we exist now. Because it was awful before. So that was one of the things I did in the very beginning that got me awareness, that got me momentum. And then Scientifically Advanced Nutrition, they contacted me and they were like, we'd like to take you on the team and, you know, sponsor and all that jazz. And I became one of 6 dudes, well, ladies too, but one of 6 people on that team, you know, to get a salary for, you know, we got cash, we got supplements, we got flown out to the Olympia, the Arnold Classics, the Europa. I would be standing behind booths, taking pictures with everybody. And 250,000 people knew who I was because of that website. And then the momentum from having that many comments and stuff. Anyone who joined the website after that for at least a year or two, I was one of the main fronters of what they would see coming into that, what they were exposed to. So my momentum just kept rolling. And I made all of that, for the most part, happen. Sure, I was competing and I did well, but, you know, I was no Phil Heath. I didn't rise to the top that quickly. I was just doing good. You know, I was like a middle pack guy, top 3 guy, doing well. Was I the superstar? Not at all. Was I bad at bodybuilding? No. You know, did I have the best genetics? No. But I knew that if I knew these people and they knew me, we could talk ideas, and I have good ideas, and we could chat about stuff, and they'd probably support me and I could support them. And that was one of the very first ways that I got into everything, I guess you could say, into the industry, because we're talking about how cutthroat it is and how tough it is. And then from there is when I started to do shows in the NPC and started doing, getting like overalls and going to nationals down in Miami. And then that kind of just rolled into everything else. So then I was doing bigger shows, doing more stuff, had that social media hub running, and then did the YouTube. I started YouTube in 2010, I think, or so. So that had a little bit of momentum behind it because I was kind of in there kind of early. But even that only has like 15, 16, 17,000 followers on. That one doesn't do too good.
Thing is, man, like everything I'm hearing is authenticity. You know what I mean? You clearly give a fuck about people rather than, oh, ultimately just buy my thing or watch me. It's like, no. Like, how can we like help each other? How can we help each other in this space of bodybuilding, fitness, like lifestyle, whatever it is, right? That is what sets you apart, in my opinion, will be
thank you, man.
Relatability and authenticity, because you can smell it a mile off, right? Like if, say for example, we go back in time and you do this whole thing and you have your number one goal of like just making as much dollars as you can. Like,
well, that was never a goal of mine.
Exactly.
Yeah, my goal was I didn't want to have a normal job. I did not want to push a broom around, right? I just wanted to work out and stay in sports like I was when I was 6 years old up until high school ended. That's what I wanted to do. I did not want to have a normal job. When I learned about bodybuilding all the way, I became obsessed with it. And I thought, in my head, I thought that I was going to get paid to just solely focus on trying to be Mr. Olympia. I didn't think I was going to have to try to sell anything to anyone ever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was part of it. I thought they were just going to surround me and be like, oh, what do you need? Money? You need food? What do you need? We just want you to be a superhuman freak. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I wanted out of sponsors and stuff like that. I wanted people to just give me money and food and let me be the best bodybuilder in the world. Let me be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
And then once I got into the industry, it was like, no, if you're going to be Mr. Olympia, you're going to make it happen. The rest of this is just like a company. Mm-hmm. It's like a business. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, we all wanted that. We all wanted to be the rock star. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So that's when I shifted gears and I was like, got into training like we talked about. And I was like, I could help these people get biceps. You know.
See, this is why I love this industry, man, because all it is passing on a little bit of knowledge to the next person. Like it's literally
that is what the whole industry is. And it works too. We've been working on this stuff since the 40s. Okay. When people come in with new weird outside ideas, that's fine. If they work, we will do them. We will do them. But we've had millions of people talking about one thing since the 1940s or so. Like if it worked, we'd be talking about it. We would be doing it. If there's anything out there that works, we do it. We talk about it. We share it. If you're going to come in from left field right now and say this or say what we do doesn't work, like we're not going to take you seriously. You know, oh, like you don't have to lift like that. Well, everyone who didn't do that is not in this circle over here as the industry. We don't know who they are because it didn't fucking work. It's, you know, so
it's definitely,
I'm not trying to be like critical of anybody because if something works, we have to like, if they came out tomorrow and they were like, this is how we're supposed to exercise. No one knew this, but it works. And then we all like started seeing that we were growing 2 times as fast, working out like that. Why would anybody work out the way we used to? Right? Because you just enjoy it. Okay, well, yeah, right. Like the only reason we're doing this is to look different, to be stronger. I mean, yeah, like it's cool that and it turns into therapeutic for a lot of people. It turns into, but that's just kind of a benefit, right? That you get to go in there and blow off steam and stuff like that and be a badass and pick up heavy stuff. Like that's a benefit. The bottom truth is we went in there to be bigger and stronger. If I could be bigger and stronger from anything else besides lifting weights, I would do that too, no matter what it is, because that's what I'm trying to accomplish. If it was like, you got to lift weights, eat protein, sleep, you know, okay, yeah, I do all those. But if they were like, you got to eat protein, sleep, work out, and you got to pet it, cat, 3.5 hours every day. Well, that's really inconvenient, but I guess that's what I'm fucking gonna do. Is that what everyone's doing?
Yeah.
Then that's what we're doing. But there isn't. So when someone comes in from left field and they're like, oh yeah, actually all you have to eat is potatoes and do overhead presses. We're like, oh yeah, I don't think that's it. I mean, those are fine things. But I don't think that's totally. You're not going to change the game, bro. We've all been playing the same game for almost 100 years. There's not really that many surprises. There's not many secrets. It really comes down to consistency, like you said, like who just fucking sticks it out and who wants it. Like when you think about it, when you talk to somebody, me too, like, don't fucking think I'm over here sitting like, because I'm good at this fucking shit. I make mistakes all the time, mess it up all the time. And that's what I'm going to say right here. Because somebody says, I want to be Mr. Olympia. I want to be the best in the world at this. Okay. I want to make the most money at this. Okay. I want to have the best physique that I can have. Okay. Right. Those are all good goals. Do you honestly eat all of the food you're supposed to all the time? Is it as clean as it's supposed to? Are you doing your cardio like you're supposed to when you're supposed to? Are you eating like you're supposed to when you're supposed to? Are you sleeping like you're supposed to? Are you training as hard? Are you going out? How long have you been doing it? All of these things, if you can't say yes to all of them, are you the little things, the homework? Are you stretching? Are you stretching after workouts? Are you warming up properly? Are you doing everything that you know in the bottom of your heart is right? If you can say yes to that, which most of us cannot, most of us are like, well, I mean, I did really good for like 4 days that one time. I did really good for a month back in high school. No, but what you said was you wanted to be the best, the most, win the hardest trophy. Those things, that's what they require, because you're not, when you're by yourself in your living room, in your bathroom, looking in the mirror, yeah, you're fucking top shit. But when you introduce yourself into millions of people, into us, and you start saying, well, this is what I want, if you're not honestly doing all of those things, like, you could not know some things exist, but in the bottom of your stomach, if you're not giving all of you all the time, do you deserve it? Do you deserve to be the best? Do you deserve to make the most? Because Steven over there, I think passion, fucking guys, passion's a dime a dozen. I hate to say it. I love passion. Passion oozes out of my ears, but passion will not fucking replace the actual physical fucking things that make things reality. The details that make the reality. If you're not out there sweating and bleeding and crying, and you're just sitting around passionate as fuck, you don't deserve any of that stuff. And if you think you're going to get any of it, you're wrong. And then if you think there's any reason you don't have it other than the truth of you didn't fucking fight for it, oh, you're silly. You know, it's competitive. Like, and now, if we were in 1960 and there was 1,000 guys participating, I'm sure genetics and hard work and little details could go really far. Sure, you could shine easier back. I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just saying the less people are involved, the less we know about bodybuilding, the less information we have, the less people involved, the smaller the guys are going to be, the more things are going to shine through. Today, because this is all circling, we've been having this circle back conversation. Today, we've been doing this since the 40s, right? We've all been thinking about it. We've all been trying. There is no hiding anymore. There are so many people participating. There's so much fucking passion involved in this place that makes me sick. So it all comes down to genetics, fine. But again, genetics, you got to still be there. You still got to fucking do it. You still got to show up. You still got to get punched in the gut 3 times a day, working out and like all this nonsense and just going through the pain, trying to make a metaphor, but missed. You get it though. You got to sit there and go through that. And you can be the prettiest dude in the world. And if you don't like getting punched in the face with training and consistency, you're not, Steve's going to beat you. He's going to get you. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think passion starts things, right? It gets you to the start line. You inevitably, bodybuilding's so competitive, right? That you need it, because if you don't have that to rely back on, you ain't going to get anywhere, right? But everyone's got it, like you said. Everyone's passionate. Okay, cool. Now what are you going to do?
Oh, that's the easy one.
Oh, I'm just going to stand
in bodybuilding.
Go on.
Yo, when it comes to bodybuilding, passion and steroids are the most plentiful, easily accessible things. Everybody's got the passion. Everybody's got to connect. Those mean nothing anymore. It all comes back to the details. And then And then once everybody does it the way they're supposed to, and they all try real hard and they all get to the end, and we can put them on stage, well, then, yeah, then I guess genetics and stuff will start to separate you. But that's such a different conversation.
People love an out. People love an excuse, right? They will slap that genetic card on people. They'll slap the fucking roids on people. They'll slap whatever they can just to prove that, oh, no, I was never going to get anywhere near this person anyway. You're like, please, like, this person broke themselves day in, day out, all day, all night, put in so much hard work. It's like, that's why they're ahead. Like,
that's
the other
why. And well, what you're going to say is people say, if I did that, I'd look like you too. And then, the answer is you're right. And that's the point. No one's fucking hiding the formula from you. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want to eat and train and sleep and use supplements, fine. If you don't want to, but there's no secrets. There, and there's no fucking, I know what you guys are up to. No, we fucking write books about it. We lay it out step by step. If you don't want to participate, don't. But to sit over there and be like, well, if I took steroids and I ate and I trained and I'd look like that. Yeah, probably. We'd hope so. Because that's what we're doing. We're hoping it works for us too.
Yeah.
So come on. Then don't participate. Hate the game. Don't hate the player. If you don't like bodybuilding, don't watch bodybuilding. Don't participate in bodybuilding. But why are you contacting individual players of the bodybuilding game to tell them that their effort, that their credibility, that it doesn't matter? Well, take it up with the sport itself. Don't worry about me. I'm one of fucking 10,000 dudes over here. Yeah, what are you care about me for?
Is 100%.
If you want to do it, do it.
Like
it is a little bit ignorance, right? Because they say the definition of ignorant is unaware. So I think a lot of it is just they don't know. But it's and we're easy targets,
100%, and it's easier to just kind of like brush it off. They would prefer to throw a comment like that at someone like yourself than to understand the realization and come to the realization of, if they legitimately just put in some fucking hard work, that they could do it. They would much prefer to just kind of throw some shit at you and be like, no, this person's like doing this, this, and this, and I won't be able to do that. I was like, no, like, you just fucking work hard. Legit, you could do it. You
could. So why do they care? Just don't fucking do it. Don't talk about it. Just don't do it. Like me. If I spent 6 hours a day bowling, I could probably be a bowling champion. Yeah, but do you want to spend 6 hours a day bowling?
Yeah.
No. Then why the fuck are you talking about it?
Yeah.
It's a matter to you. As now, a lot of it comes down to the simple acceptance that you don't have to be the best or participate in everything, and you can just enjoy things for what they are. Yeah, you could pretty much do anything because you're a human. We're all humans. If you as human over there took the time to read, to learn, to apply, there's very few things that you can't do. There's very few things. Like, what is there that you can't do? Well, I won't be Michael Jordan. Well, it doesn't mean you won't be really good at handling and working with a basketball. If we put everybody on stage, sure, we can start to pick apart things. It's like genetics. We put everybody next to everybody. Yeah, we can start to pick apart and say, this looks better than this. This is more consistent than this. But everybody's doing a great job. Effort always pays back.
Yeah, and look where
as long as it's towards something constructive. As long as it's not towards being like don't be a thief, right? Like, don't be the world's best thief. That's not good. But anything you do as a human and put effort into it, you evolve in that category. And we have to be able to understand that I don't participate in that category, so I'm not going to even think about it, but I will appreciate that you do it. And I think it's neat that what you just did there. That was cool. And if I didn't think it was cool, I just won't comment on it, right? Like if I came to your page and you were real muscular, right? Like what's the point of me saying steroids, or what's the point of me saying, I bet he has no life, he's in the gym all the time? What's the point of me saying, like the most direct thing I could say is, I don't like bodybuilding. Yeah. Why? Because the face you're looking at and the body you're looking at could be replaced by 1,000 other players over the last 100 years, right? So it really has nothing to do about Stephen or Thomas or John or Mindy or Alyssa. They don't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter the decisions they made. It doesn't matter that they took testosterone. It doesn't matter that they went to the gym 6 times instead of 3 because you only went 4 times. You just don't like bodybuilding. You don't want to see humans be that muscular. All right, well, fine, turn it off. You know, I don't know. Just comment that. You won't find me participating in bodybuilding. Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, but why comment like, oh, look at this guy. I bet this. No, I mean, maybe, but we're generalizing, we're stereotyping, we're doing all these things we're not supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with not liking something, but when we start making assumptions and throwing words places that, you know, we're just saying our insecurities, maybe it's a real true fact. It's not an insecurity. Maybe you just don't like it, which is fair. That's fine. But again, it's you don't like bodybuilding, you don't like muscles, you don't like overdevelopment of human muscles. But you have nothing. Don't take it out on Steven. The fuck Steven do to you? He's a nice guy. He goes bowling.
Honestly, man,
he's a good dude.
Speaking, like I worked out in one of the first gyms I ever worked out in, got ranked #1 bodybuilding gym in the northwest of England, right? And I was like shoulder to shoulder with so many people that like to compete, right? It was literally made up of bodybuilders, professional athletes in like rugby league, rugby union, whatever sport they would do, and then the occasional just like random old age pensioner that just wanted to like work out. It was a super cool like mix of people, and it was like a converted house. So it used to be a house and they just kind of converted it into a gym. Super like weird, really in a rough area of town. But anyway, it was super cool. And like you get obviously get to speaking with people, right? And I'm there. I think I started working out in that gym at like 13 maybe, right? And everyone else is just kind of doing their thing. And the amount of help you get from these random people, and the amount of like good conversations you get from these random people, right? You don't know their names, but you know their face and you know their friendly vibe. And then they're like, oh yeah, like looking good, dude. Or I like the way you train, or whatever it is, right? Just these little comments. And you get to talking with people, right? And honestly, bodybuilders are one of the most philosophical people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like usually really kind, really sweet people, think about a lot of things, are quite self-aware, are quite meditative in their own state. You know, I'm generalizing though, but
sure.
I think the point still stands. Like we look at the outer shell, right, of this whole and just be like, fuck that, I won't want to do that. That's fine. You clearly don't do it. So don't do it. Okay. But I'm quite a spiritual person, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you don't like the shell. Okay. But do you know who the fuck that person is? No. So why are we like tarring them with a negative brush all of a sudden? This person could be an incredible human being. They could be an asshole, who knows? But they could be an absolutely incredible human being. And you don't know because you're just tarring them with a brush from a shell. And it, you know, we can't do that with, obviously, we've got fat shaming, and we can't do that if someone's in a wheelchair. You can't take the piss out of that because it's unfair, right? You're like, no, this is not right. So why are we doing it to people that might just be overly large? Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's almost like deep down they assume or know that person is so well off because they look like that. Because they look like that, things must be wonderful for them, because they don't. They can't relate. They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And since they can't relate, they make those assumptions again.
Yeah.
Oh, you look like that? Well, I bet people throw you money, and I bet people want to have sex with you and relationships with you and conversations with you. And I bet you got picked first, and you probably were that, just like that guy who played football that I didn't like. You're probably just like him.
Yeah.
So not only am I allowed to make fun of you, but my words probably won't mean much to you because I kind of know that you're above my words. And that makes me sad, you know, that like these people do that they have this source of venting because they think, well, there's Superman, so I can be mean to Superman because Superman's not a real person. It's Superman. This is my time to vent. This is my time to say what's been on my mind. This is my time to say why I'm not Superman, because, you know, damn it, I deserve to be Superman. I'm really nice. You know, I deserve, you know, to have all, but we don't, most of those things are not happening to those people. Most of those muscular people are not being showered with flowers.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not given the key to the city, you know? So I think, but I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that might be part.
Yeah. I love the fitness industry, man. I love it. Like, I've worked in it for like fucking 11 years. Of course, I love this thing. I'm super passionate about it. I think it's the best, but also the worst industry on the planet, because every little niche within this industry, right, shoots the other one. I'm like, what? Like, how many times you get, I mean, we're talking about it now. Oh, fuck the bodybuilders, blah, 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 because of X, Y, Z. Okay. Fuck the CrossFitters because of ABC, right? Like, fuck Zumba, that's not even a real thing. You're like, oh, there's people that do spin class, like, what, you're not even trying. I'm like, wait, what is going on here? We're all doing the same thing. We're just using different tools, right? And honestly, like, I'm a weightlifter, right? Olympic weightlifter. I've played sports. I did the CrossFit thing. Like, I've trained like I wouldn't go as far to say I've trained like a bodybuilder. I've experienced it. I haven't put in the work and the dedication of you guys have. So I would not say I've trained like you guys, but I've been around it. And I'm like, honest to God, I think every part of the industry could take so many fucking lessons from the bodybuilding scene. Like, legit. I'm like, you just apply that over to the strength training. We're kind of seeing it going over to like the CrossFit functional scene. They're kind of blurring those lines a little bit, which I think is cool. Like, the injuries will go down, like body awareness will go up, like dedication, obviously, nutrition, obviously. Like, I think if we apply those old school kind of principles of the bodybuilding, like, there's so much to be taken from it and applied everywhere. But again, we don't, because it's like, no, fuck those guys. You're like,
yeah, I don't. That's it. There's a lot of gatekeeping, right?
Yeah.
Like, people are like, oh, we're the best. You can't participate. What you do doesn't. I don't understand why we're not all just the Iron family.
Yeah,
you know?
the Iron family, 100%. Oh, you like
options
to do
Pilates? Are great.
Like,
what's
awesome.
That?
You know, you like to,
yeah, cool.
Go do your thing.
Go do them.
Yeah,
go do them. I'll be here when you're done. Yeah, I'll be over there. Whatever, no big deal. Ain't no thing.
Ain't nothing but a chicken.
And then,
wing,
and then there's, and then like the limitations and stuff. Like, me, I don't know where you are in your life. You know, maybe you were bodybuilding in the beginning. Maybe you're doing strength now. Maybe you got into Pilates because you got injured. Man, whatever. Just you're here. That's great.
Yeah.
there is a lot of hate. There is a lot of division, but I think a lot of it stems because we talk about how on one side of the coin, the guys are, you know, they have a lot, they're real thoughtful, they're considerate, they're helpful. On the other side of the coin, they're hateful, they're arrogant, they're douchey. And I think that a lot of it is how long you've been participating. Okay, like, we see the douchey side, we see the hateful side, the judgmental side from the guys who have been in it less than 3 years. And some of those guys, they just showed up on the scene. Like, they showed up to our playground and they were really good at playing kickball. So they came up and they threw sand in our face and they stole our kickball and they kicked it away from us, and everybody noticed. But after like 2 or 3 years, that guy, you know, he's not the hot shit on the block anymore, and now he's trying to talk and be friends with all of us, and we don't like him, so he leaves the playground, you know, and it's over for him. But we're the other guys who've been around like 5-10 years, we're all just, yeah, hey, what's going on? Hey, good to see you. Want to play a game? Yeah, okay. So I think that's what you see a lot is we have 9 out of 10 of the fitness people you see have been in it for less than 1 year. This is the only sport where there is no qualifications needed to be new. You don't have to have any qualifications. You don't have to have any credentials to be an amateur bodybuilder. I am a fitness competitor. Says who? Says me. Okay. Wow. That's the rules. That's the rules. Wow. You're right. You're right. I'm a competitive bodybuilder. Yeah, says who? Says me. You've never done a show. I don't have to have done one. All I have to do is say I'm here to do one eventually. And I am now considered amateur bodybuilder because the first filter we have includes absolutely anybody who says they are involved. Anybody can go to an amateur show, a local show, looking like however they want, and they can sign up, they can participate, they can get the NPC card, the NABA card, the OCB card, they can be a registered bodybuilder, and they can compete. Now, if you want to say I'm a national level competitor, oh well, damn. Oh, you've gone through one of the filter processes and taken out 9/10 of the people who say they are participating.
Holy shit!
You could say you're an IFBB pro, and now I know that you are 1 out of 1,000 people because of the amount of filters, the different filters you've had to go through to prove yourself. Okay, I can dig that, but that doesn't mean I can take any way away from the dude who just showed up today, decided today, and bought his card today that he's not a bodybuilder. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So now when I get online and I'm searching bodybuilding, if that guy is posting about bodybuilding, I might happen to find it. I might happen to see it. And now his opinions and his ideas are heard. And heaven forbid they're not, but they probably are echoed. And they're echoed, yeah. And that's why it's like, well, no, the guys in the industry aren't doing that. Well, I just talked to 7 out of 10 guys and they all said they are. It's like, yeah, but 9 out of 10 don't count. You get it?
How would you go about that then? Would you create like another process to get in and be classed as like an amateur, or how would you go about it? Would you just go full-blown education, try and spread as much knowledge as possible and try and dilute it, or what?
I think you have to know that if, as the competitor yourself, as the true bodybuilder, that if you're going to be in it and you're going to stick around, you just have to know there's going to be a lot of puppies, and they're going to bark and they're going to whine and they're going to bite your ears and your ankles, and you're just going to have to deal with it because there's other guys like you. Mm-hmm. And we'll be friends and we'll talk and we'll post stuff. And those guys are beacons for real information. You can't hide authenticity, right? You can't. If you're putting out stuff, right? If you're winning shows, you're winning shows. If your clients are having results, your clients are having results. If everybody says you're wrong, you might be wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's a saying that says, if everyone in the room is an asshole, maybe you're the asshole.
Yep.
So there's that too. So you just have to know. Now it's hard. What sucks, and there's no way around it. There's no way for me to sugarcoat it, and I can't save everybody. If you are new, you're gonna learn the hard way that most of the shit you hear is not gonna help you, and that sucks. I can't scream loud enough for every new dude to hear me, nor do I want to. And everybody else can't either. And when 9/10 of the fitness industry, which is not the industry, it's just that 9/10 every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, they quit and are replaced. It's a tide. They're always there. They're always there. So how you get above the tide to find plenty of guys and women up there in the fitness industry for real, the ones with actual knowledge, the ones who care, who love, who support, who compete, who try, thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wade through a million to get
Mm-hmm.
to the thousands, which sucks. And I don't know how to amplify that other than the individual wants the information, wants the goal so much that they just keep swimming and keep listening and absorbing and trying until eventually they're like, no, that's wrong. And I don't need to tell you it's wrong. I just need to know for myself. And I know that I'm not going to do that. I can listen to you say it and I can turn it off and keep moving and not do it because I've been here.
You got to be.
And then when you hear somebody say something else, you got to wade through the shit and you got to learn to just hear it and let it flow through your head and be like, and even say to them, be like, okay, good luck. Yep. Good luck with that. Good. I hope it works for you. But then you just keep moving about. How to get to that point though, I don't know. You just got to want it, I guess, and just accept you're going to get smacked in the face with a bunch of fucking pies. You're going to look like a clown a lot until you get to the point where you're like, all right, yeah, like no more jokes. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm doing a little bit. You're not going to trick me anymore. You're not getting my $70 to buy your freaking potato only diet. I know it doesn't work.
Oh, you skinny teas.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, shut up. Whatever. You can do so much with just that effort part.
There's a stat back home in the UK, right? That 95% of newly qualified PTs quit the entire industry within a year.
I completely could see that.
Like,
yeah, that I trust that stat all the way.
That's insane. 95% within a year no longer are in the fitness industry. You're like,
fitness is hard.
Fuck yeah.
It is one thing. It is one thing to take care of your own body.
Yep.
It is another thing to oversee somebody else's. You know what drives me nuts is trainers that don't look good. It drives me nuts because what level of good to me is low. To me, good is the way you were born and your genes decided for you to look, not overdeveloped, just not fat, fit. You look like somebody who could go for a 5-mile hike at the drop of a dime. You don't look like you're going to be like a star quarterback or nothing, but you look capable and you look ready and you look like you could, like we could have some fun at the family reunion playing some flag football. That's good. When I see trainers that don't even have that, okay, I get upset. I don't like that because you have to have at least that. Yeah, you can have anything past that, because there's all types of different levels of what the client wants. You could work with people who are very obese and they want to look like what their genes originally wanted their structure to look like, 6 foot, 210, whatever. And they're 400. They're like, I just want to look like a person. Okay, that trainer right there, he can help you do that. I want to look like Mr. Olympia. Well, you might need that guy. Okay, whatever the goal might be. Because if you're so good at fitness, okay, that you're going to sell it, because that's what you're doing. You're a business. You are selling product, intellectual property, your methods. Okay, if you are that good that you can take my words, as I describe how I go about my day, and you can watch me work out or even have me describe how I work out and tell me what to do and make adjustments for me to hit my goals. If you can do that for me, well, you are fucking living inside that body. So you should be able to make those choices and decisions instantaneously. You should be able to eat a cupcake and know how to get rid of the cupcake so it was like the cupcake didn't happen. Or you should just have the strength to not eat the cup. You should be able to make every change because you are the trainer working with the client and you're literally fused together. Mm-hmm. So either two things are happening. Either the first one is you don't care, and that's fine. Again, Rick, you don't have to participate. Mm-hmm. You can know all this information. You can teach it to somebody, and you can honestly say to me, I don't want to work out. I don't like it. I don't want to do cardio. I like to sleep in, and I like eating cheeseburgers, and that's why I have this spare tire around my waist. That's why. I'm a trainer. I know why it's there. Fair. That's fair. Do you have pictures of you in shape? Yeah, I do have pictures of me in shape. Or no, I've never been in shape, but I've gotten these 100 people in shape. Look at them. Okay, fine. Fine. The second one, though, is no, you don't know. No, you don't know. You don't know what you're doing. You're not as good as you thought you were. You're taking advantage of people. You are a fitness enthusiast, which is fine. But stop trying to take people's money for your hobby. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You're in the same position they are. You're doing the same thing they are. Now you're both in a circle jerk and one dude has less money. So don't do that to people.
It's easy to get in the industry though, right? Like it's so fucking easy.
No qualifications. There's no qualifications needed to walk through the door. And if you're on the other side of that door looking at all these fucking people, if you don't know how to judge them out, it's tough, man. And that's what we talked about, the new guys. That's tough. And I don't know how to help you. It's like telling a little fish that will one day grow into a big fish, how do you not get eaten in that time? It's like, well, hide. Well, what do you mean hide? Well, hide and swim fast. You got to, I don't know what to say besides that. Everybody's situation is unique. All circumstances are different. A lot of minutes, a lot of days, years create so many situations and scenarios that I can't even begin to make up ideas. Your life is your life. But so how you're going to get there is going to be your journey. And you can listen to me, you can listen to him, you can listen to her, you can listen to those 1,000 people over there. But that's part of the journey for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Who are you going to talk to?
Yeah. You got to do something, man.
Good luck. And I don't want you to fail. Don't. But you got to, there's only so much I can do to help you.
People love to push on the blame to the trainer, the coach, the PT, whatever, of this is why I've not achieved what I wanted to achieve. I was like, you see these people like 3 hours a week, right? There's a lot of hours in a week. You see them for 3 of them. If you ain't doing,
and that honestly,
not looking, like you're fucked.
You're fucked. There's just back to effort. When you're working out, and people argue that you don't have to train hard. I think you do. I think you have to train hard. And when you've been training hard for a while, it starts to become really hard. Because what you end up doing most of the time after you start to have some development is you just maintain. Because you have to progressive overload, right? We all know that. We all love to say progressive overload. Well, fuck, you can't progressive overload forever. Otherwise, like every day, we'd be flipping over cars and deadlifting 10,000 pounds because every day, every week, we would be progressively getting stronger. So eventually, you're going to fill up that gas tank of potential pretty fucking quick. And then what happens is you are trying to capture lightning in a bottle. You go to the gym and you try so hard. Yeah, but you did that last year. Okay, so one day your sleep is all perfect. One day your food was all perfect. You were in the best mood. You had the best mentality. Maybe every single duck was in a row, and you stimulated growth again. Good job. It was the first time you did in 6 months. It was the first time you did in a year. So yeah, progressive overload. Yeah, but eventually it's going to get to the point where to capture that lightning in that bottle, to get the overload, because you've been overloaded, is so hard. And for most guys, they can't dig that deep. They can only dig so deep. And it shows on their physique. They look great. You tried really hard. You did a great job. You dug really deep. I can see your muscles are really big, but there's another point in strength and size where it's like, if you put, like, Jonathan put himself in a torture chamber and sawed off his fucking leg. Could you do that? No, I couldn't. And that's why I don't have the bicep that he has. How the fuck did he do that? Because he just dug down and sure, you could talk about steroids and you can talk about all these different things, and they all help for sure. And we're talking about such extremes that to try to put yourself in these situations as a hypothetical, it's kind of hard. We're talking about a place that is beyond most people. But some of those guys, some of the like Eddie Hall, the power lifter, Eddie Hall was progressive overload. He was able to continually overload more than most people because his pain threshold, his mental threshold was greater. So we should celebrate that. And then once he had that physique, because he was able to handle that, he used it for years at the same level pretty much. You didn't watch him make leaps and bounds every single year because one day he was progressive overload for life. You know, same with the bodybuilders. You will see some guys in 3-5 years build the physique that then they compete with for 20 years. And it's because they were able to handle so much. And sure, drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we can talk about that. That's a different chapter. Food, how much food he could consume. Yeah, that's a different chapter. But there is something to be said about the chapter of in that same 3 years that you have and I had and he had, more often than me and you, or maybe not, maybe you, maybe me, you know, we're just talking generally here. They were able to hit that threshold of fucking pain and push it a little bit. And then, and like, so out of the, like, so I'm going to generalize here and I'm going to make up fucking numbers for the conversation. You did 100 workouts because let's say you worked out chest once a week, right? If you worked out chest once a week, that's 4 times a month. So there's 12 months in a year. 12 times 4 is 48, right? So in an entire year, if you train once a week, okay, don't talk about details. Don't try to pick this apart. I train twice a week. No. Okay. 50 workouts in a year. So in 2 years, let's say you had 100 chest sessions. Over 2 years, you had 100 chest sessions. How many of them were actually the progressively overloaded days you were looking for? How many of those days did you have your ducks in a row that something beneficial happened and you had stimulation from? Because I bet you fucking anything, it is not 100. I bet you more than half of those workouts were maintenance, right? You didn't get smaller. You looked great. You got a sick fucking pump. Your pictures were awesome. Did you grow a little bit? No, you didn't. You didn't. Did you get smaller? Absolutely not. No, you did exactly what you trained your body to do. Move dumbbells, move barbells, move heavy fucking weight. Did you capture the lightning in the bottle? I don't think I did that day. Well, that's fine. You'll eventually have years like that because you will have hit that ending so much. And that's a lot of what people don't understand is that right there is going to determine a lot of what you have to work with for a career. If you can't go through that threshold of pain, if you can't put yourself in that ring week after week, get the living shit kicked out of you and stand up to get punched again, well, then you probably won't have the goods to then even worry about like genetics. What does it look like? How well you pose. You know, you go right back to the category of like, you're a fitness enthusiast. You have fun going out there. You have fun in the gym. Me too. I have fun doing it. Though I have to gatekeep and say that everybody who takes steroids sucks. Everybody who does this is dumb. Everybody who does CrossFit is stupid. No, I can just appreciate everybody. And I can appreciate that I wasn't able or didn't want to put myself through that fucking torture. And that's okay. Doesn't mean you can't celebrate the guys who did. It's not, and there's no reason I can't say to you, good job being able to handle that fucking shit. Dude, I stopped. I got to that level of shit, see? And I said, fuck, this hurts. So good for you, man. Good for you. You're a fucking tank. You go in that ring with Mike Tyson and you get punched in the face. It hurts. I don't want to get in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I,
The,
I
the
can
principles
celebrate
apply,
that you
man.
do.
The
What's that?
principles still apply. You know what I mean? It's like the hard work is the
Yeah.
foundation of the pyramid, and everyone is complaining and arguing about the rest of the pyramid. You're like, dude, the hard work is a non-negotiable, right?
Non-negotiable.
The genetics, the rides, the food, the sleep. Okay, great. But if you take one of those out of the equation, you're still going to make massive progress. If you take hard work out of the equation, like you're not even going to be on the start line. You're fucked.
It's over. Yeah, it's over. You lost. It's over. It's absolutely over. And that's one thing too. We're gonna have to finish up here soon because I'm kind of busy today. I have to get back to my client stuff. A little bit behind. That's the other thing too, is when we talk about people projecting their hate out there, not liking you because you did this, or you might have done this because you look like a certain way. Just stop and find what makes you fucking happy, right? That's what we say. Find your thing, find your passion. It doesn't have to be your job. Not all of us like our job. That is lucky. That's something we celebrate as well. When your passion can be your job, that's great. But if not, find what you like, find what makes you happy, put your effort into that. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the fuck out of being good at that. For you being that's your thing, have fun with that. And then when you're not doing your thing, look around the room and just smile at everyone who's doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then when you're done that, put your head down and do your thing and be happy. Mm-hmm. And do it. But there's no reason for me to look up from bodybuilding and look over to you and be like, why are you building a classic car? You know how expensive that is? Why don't you buy a new car? Are you racing? Why do you play rugby? You're 30 years old. You're going to get hurt. You look stupid. Who goes to those? Is your girlfriend there? Is she the only one watching? Shut the fuck up, man. Let my man be a bowler. Let my man play rugby. Let my man make his supercar. Go to the gym. Put your head down and do what you want. Why does it matter? If you happen to look up, smile, but then go back to you. Go back to you, man. Yeah, you.
It's beautiful, man. Thank you.
Hey, is this okay? Are we allowed to finish up?
Of course, man.
Okay?
I just really appreciate your time, man. Like we can 100%.
Well, if there was something specific, I'm known for chatting too much and getting on topic. So if you had something specific, I didn't want to end it.
Nah, man. Like, I just love the conversation. I'm really grateful for people's time and for chatting over things. And I like taking a dip in other people's reality, and I think we're able to do that from conversation and being able to connect with like-minded individuals all over the world, man. Like I've traveled around, been to a few places, and like things have been good, things have been rough, like whatever, but you're able to this platform has been able to create this environment where I'm like, you know what, yeah, we're going to keep on going. Like if no one else gets anything from it, which I know people do, but if no one else does, I know at least I get something from it, man. So I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, perfect, dude. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
If you ever need to get out the States and are wandering this side of the world, let me know. And we'll go get a coffee, we'll go fucking train.
Perfect.
Easy.
Take it easy, brother.
Thank you very much for your time. You smash your day. All right, man. Peace.